What's up, family? Welcome back to another legendary top of the mood reaction video. Let's go.
Give me the shirt. Come on. I ain't the children of the lie. Let's go. Come on. One shirt.
Jesse! Jesse!
What in the world going on out here?
All these people are here for the merch, but we're sold out.
They're here for the merch?
Yeah.
That's amazing. It's subscribe now.
Yeah, my man, Jesse. My man here, Jesse, is a legend, bro. He funny too.
Welcome to the Fallen State. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Help us fight censorship by hitting the thumbs up button, and then don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell. You can ring my bell. Ring the bell, all right? I have with me today Pastor Kurt D. Thomas. He's a senior pastor of the Renewed Church of Los Angeles. Am I right?
That is correct.
Renewed Church of Los Angeles. Thank you for coming.
Well, thank you for having me.
I absolutely appreciate it.
Thank you.
And so, were you called to be a pastor, or did you go to school for it?
Well, at the age of 9, I felt the presence of God over me. I grew up in a Pentecostal church, so I went through that entire Pentecostal experience. And it wasn't until I matriculated through college that I decided to get a bachelor's degree in theology, or to study theology while I was at Stillman College.
Oh, I see. So God didn't call you. You just you decided to go to school for it.
No. I believe that I was called by God to do what I do.
I get what he's saying, because God didn't say education won't. God didn't say education will hinder you to embrace the purpose he has for you. He says nothing about education in the Bible. When you're called, you're called.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
And why do you believe that?
Why do I believe that I was called? I know that I'm called to do what I do because because I have a passion and I have a desire to see people elevated from where they are to where they need to be.
Oh, okay. And when you say where they are, do you believe that human beings are in a fallen state?
Explain what you mean by that.
Fallen state. You're a pastor, you should know.
Yeah, but explain what do you mean by a fallen state?
Do you know? Do you believe that human beings are in a fallen state? You know what fallen means, right?
A fallen state means that they've fallen from the grace of God. Is that what you're? Okay.
Right.
So I believe that that humans have fallen from a fallen state, but with the whole deal with reconciliation, I think that God reconciles us back to himself.
So you do agree then that human beings have fallen away from God, right?
That humans have fallen away from God according to Adam and all that, yes.
And then at some point, those who seek him will come back.
Those who seek him are that he's called back to them, yes, then they will.
Is it possible to overcome that fallen state?
It is possible to overcome that fallen state
Well, yeah, man. When you're blessed and highly favored, you're more than a conqueror.
if we accept Christ back into our hearts.
Right. How does one know when they're in a fallen state?
Well, a person will know that they're in a fallen state when they don't live a life that's acceptable. I believe that's really acceptable to themselves. So like a person that is a drug addict, or a person that is drinks too much liquor, a person that maybe possibly not living their best life, or what doing what they're called to do, I think that those people are the people that find themselves in a fallen state.
So when they're not living their life according to God, then they're in a fallen state.
If you're not living a life that is according to the principles of God, yes,
Then you're in a fallen
then
state.
you're in a fallen state.
So if I read, and I don't know if it's true or not, I like to ask the person before I mention,
Okay.
know if it's true or not. Are you a homosexual?
I am a same gender loving man.
So does that mean you're a homosexual?
It means that I'm a same gender loving man.
But just for, I'm black and slow.
Okay.
And just for the rest.
Jesse, why you gonna do that, man, like that, man? You gonna say I'm black and slow, man?
Does that mean you're a homosexual?
I know where he about to go with this. I got a feeling I know where he about to go with this. And it's going to fall back to the hypocritical statement he made. So I'm curious to see how he's going to articulate his answer with the sense of ambiguity that Jesse is having. Because he's just curious. And one thing about Jesse, man, he don't judge, man. Whether good or bad, he don't judge, because you shouldn't judge, because you don't know where your blessing is going to come from. But, man, God actually worked through people who are in a fallen state. This is just me. Y'all could comment down below what y'all can see, how y'all feel about it, family, about fallen state. I don't feel like you're in a falling state. I just feel like I always say, we're all sheep who have gone astray. You have to want to strive to seek the kingdom of God and Him first with all your heart. And you'll just be aligned, directed. We all fall off the path and, fall off. But, with that discernment and direction and instruction and, all His graces, all of God's graces, we stay aligned, what I'm saying? In alignment and staying whole within ourselves and what He knows best, as the higher power and God is the way of life. Because we don't know how to live this thing so-called life. We think we do, but we're just doing it. You know what I'm saying? We're just living, trying to figure this thing out, like we all are. You know what I'm saying? Trial and error. You know what I'm saying? Commitment, staying committed and commitment in life will give you answers, but to embrace that discernment, what to embrace and what to refrain from, the higher power keeps you aligned with all that. You know what I'm saying? That's just how my perspective, how I look at it. So God works through fallen people. So I don't feel like you have falling. I feel like you just have a different journey. But you still have to want to take that initiative. Like God made the tree, but He didn't make the chair. You know what I'm saying? You got to put in, faith without works is dead. You can't say, as they say in a good book, one person say, I have works and you have faith. For I have works, you show me your works, and then I'll show you my faith. For you show me your faith, and I'll show you my works. There's no interchangeable things. It's in together. It's whole. You know what I'm saying?
I could be considered a homosexual.
Are you considered? I don't want to think of you if you're not.
I'm a homosexual.
You're a homosexual?
Yes.
And so you're a homosexual pastor?
I am a homosexual pastor, yes.
How long have you been a homosexual pastor?
I've been a pastor for 8 years, senior pastor, and then before that, prior to that, I was a youth pastor.
Oh, okay. Why do you think that God would call a person, a homosexual, to be a pastor but not change him?
So I don't think that God majors where we minor. And so I think that what happens...
Oh, my God didn't just go to the whole faculty and staff of financial administration of a university talking about major and minors. My man just went like academic advising type verbiage just now.
I think that we put limitations on God that God doesn't have.
Now, don't get me wrong. Our God is a cool God, but He just went back. Let's revert back to what He said. If you don't keep His commandments, He said it. This pastor said, if you don't keep His commandments, then you're in a fallen state. That's what senior pastor so-and-so of Los Angeles, I forgot his name. But
for example, we could, if you go to seminary or something like that, you find out that there's a thought process that God could possibly be a woman, or that God could be this, or that God could be that. That God can be what.
See, bro, too much information with the theology stuff. Being theological too much can lead to destruction. See, this is where you have to have power, but power that's not in refinement. You get hyperactive with it, and then you go undisciplined with it. And then you start losing the verbiage to your own perspectives rather than embracing it for what it is.
Whatever it is that you need him to be.
You believe that he can be a woman?
I believe that God can be whatever it is that you need him to be.
So could he be a homosexual too if you needed him to be one?
Well, honestly, I don't think that the Bible says that God is neither male nor female.
Right. So how can he be a woman then if he's not a female?
Well, I'm saying that. So there's a book that's by who's the book by? There's a book that is written. It's called what is it called?
Well, that's all right about the title. What about the book?
But in the book, the principles of the book talk about God swaying himself to this, and it's called The Shack by W.M. Paul Young. And so if you read that book, then you find out that God basically finds himself congruent to whatever state of mind a person is in. And so at one state, God is a Jewish carpenter. At one state, God shows himself as a big black woman in the kitchen cooking.
Big black woman?
A black woman in the kitchen cooking. And
So you think God could be a big black woman?
I think that God can be whatever it is that you need God to be at that moment.
Do you think that God could be a homosexual too?
I don't. If God needs to be a homosexual, I think that he was, but I don't liken him to that. I don't liken.
Oh man. My man basically saying God can transform for what you need him to be. But let's get this straight. God knows what we need. And what he knows what's best for us to be, to become the person he wants us to be, as he knows what's best for us. So why would that's like music as an example. Why would someone who knows what's best for you transform to something that you need? Wouldn't that hinder you? Because now he's being something you need, but he knows what's best for you as your friend. Let's say, for example, we just going to speak in third person. Susie knows what's best for Jake because Susie has experience and wisdom, and she knows the best advice to give Jake to go the right direction on what she knows in regards to in that particular whatever he needs help in, right? Now, Susie transformed into whatever Jake's need her to be because that's what he needs at that point in time. So wouldn't that Susie as a friend hinder Jake? Because at the end of the day, she's transforming into the likeness of what he wants her to be. That's like basically saying, yes, he's big. This pastor right here in Los Angeles is basically saying, this is what I'm getting from Pastor so-and-so, whatever his name is. Pastor, I don't know this man's name. Pastor Kurt. Pastor Kurt here right now is basically saying that God is calling you. And that you are called, and he's calling you. And if you seek him, he'll transform your life. And basically, if you seek God, Pastor Kurt is saying he'll transform your life, but God also can transform into what you need him to be. That's what Pastor Kurt is saying here. But at the end of the day, that's where it sounds like individuals that's advocate, and I fell victim to this, you start giving God a shopping list of what you know is best. But we don't. That's why we have God to guide us, because he knows what's best for us. Now, he's basically saying, don't get me wrong, God is an interchangeable God. But God is changeless. God is the same person. God is the same God he is. Put it like this. That God is the same. He's divine. You know what I'm saying? So God is interchangeable from a divine and a physical perspective, an action. You know, he can speak to us through his word, the breath of life, through individuals, you know, and speak to us directly. Now, yes, so he's interchangeable in the sense of guiding us and directing us. You know, that discernment, right? He's interchangeable in the sense of, like he always said, he'll protect us, provide for us, and his grace. But God doesn't love us as people love us of this world. God is the same God he was yesterday, as he is today, as he will be tomorrow. That's why we love him wholeheartedly, because of his changelessness, but his unconditional love. That's like you saying to your child, see, you know, look up to me. That's like you wanting your child to look up to you, and you're setting the model, right? Because the child does what the parent emulates, right? And then you sit there and you adjust to what your child wants you to be. So are you really doing what's best, or you just like, that's basically like what let me put it like this. He's basically saying, he went from saying God is who the amazing God he is, all praise and honor and glory to him for being the amazing God he is, and I'm saying that, you know, all praise and honor and glory to the higher power, the one and only amazing God. But he's basically trying to say God is God and he's amazing, you seek him. But now he's trying to say that God is a God who fits in, and God doesn't try to fit into no one. You know, God is God and he's changeless. You know what I'm saying? We need God more than he needs us. Even though God, being the amazing God he is, and God has emotions and he's a jealous God, desires to have a relationship with us. So my man has got this all. Look, I'm not judging. Let's just say I'm just saying where he going at. That's what I'm getting.
In the word, I don't liken God to be to be an isolated gender.
So you believe that God could be a woman, or be a black woman,
God
or
could
homosexual?
God could be whatever you need God to be.
And so does that person make God what they want him to be in their mind so they can accept being wrong? Or does God switch genders and all that kind of stuff?
I don't think that God, that we create God to be whatever we want God to be in our minds. I think that it's based on experiences. The experiences of that person.
God can be what he need us to be, but you call on him because he's helping you become a better being. And he knows how to be there for you. So at times, like perspectives like this, and we all do, and myself included, I'm no outcast, I'm not perfect, never will be. Being imperfect, made in God's perfect image. We just may need a wisdom. I'm going to just say, we just may need a wisdom adjustment on how we look at things at times. That's why we call on God for wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. Those who lack, let me get it right. I don't want to quote it wrong. Yeah, you know, I got the scripture down. I don't want to get it wrong. You know what I'm saying? My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee.
Allows God to transform himself in whatever it is that person needs to be. For an example, if you've ever gone to Africa, or if you've ever gone to a part of the world where there's no westernized religions, to where people they don't have an isolated form of who Jesus is or what he looks like, opposed to what you were talking about earlier.
Right.
We don't know what he looks like, and so since that, God becomes whatever it is that person's experience.
But those countries that don't believe in God, they are S-hole countries, and they're all trying to come here now and bring their S-hole attitudes.
Their S-hole? What is that?
Huh?
What is that?
What is S-hole country? It's an S-H-I-T hole.
Oh, you're talking about the asshole countries.
Right, because those people don't believe in God.
I wouldn't say that they don't believe in God. I would say
They don't
that-
believe in the real God. They have their own made-up God based on their imagination, right?
I wouldn't say that. I would say that we experience God on the level that we know God. So if you have somebody that is an Indian and they've never had anyone explain to them the ideology.
Oh, take some accountability here. It's not had anyone explain to them. Seek it. You know what I'm saying? I can understand if they wasn't introduced at all. But everybody's journey is different, like I say.
Of God that is created here in Western culture, then I think that
What
that
is
person,
Western culture?
Western culture is where we are now. It's what we operate in a canonized version of the Bible in which we accept as the authentic truth of
But
who.
Western culture is the best culture, right?
I wouldn't say that.
Then why everybody trying to come here? If we're not the best, if Western culture is not the best culture, why everybody trying to come to what's not the best culture?
Is everybody trying to come here?
Everybody and their mama. Have you noticed we can't even keep the illegals out?
I wouldn't
The
say that
illegals are
everybody's
breaking.
trying to come here,
Yeah,
but
they
I would
are.
say that there are people that are trying
From all over the world.
to come here from all over the world.
Right.
Yeah.
And so if we are not the best country, why are they trying to come here? Why don't they go to the best country?
We could consider ourselves to be the best country,
But we
and
are the
maybe,
best.
and
And that's
maybe.
because of Western culture.
Well, I wouldn't use the word best. Maybe I would use the word. We're probably a country where people are allowed to be free and be themselves.
So we're the best.
If you say best, then I'll go with that.
So I want to go back. You say God is a
Bro, he just said he wouldn't say. Now he go with that. Come on, bro.
black woman.
I didn't say God was a black woman. I used the book as an analogy
That God was
to,
a black
to
woman.
show us that God could be whatever it is that we need God to be.
Amazing. Do you believe
So
that?
you basically saying,
That book?
I believe that God could be whatever it is that we want God to be.
Really?
but you stating that from that book, bro. Bro, you're citing. That's how you write in a paper and you citing your references, bro. That you're basically citing what you held on to from the book, from your remembrance, and that's what you grasped to, and that's why you making that statement you're making. You know, it's all backed up from that research.
And so you've been a homosexual all your life, you said earlier, right?
At the age of
You wanna break?
nine, I knew that I liked the same sex. Yes,
How did you become that way?
I didn't become that way. I knew that was my innate nature to be to like men.
And so how did your nature go from a natural nature of being a man or male to an unnatural nature of becoming a woman? How did that happen?
You said the unnatural nature of me becoming a woman.
Yeah, how you
That's facts, though, bro. Come on, bro. I'm curious. I want to know how does that happen?
were born a natural male, right?
You're born a natural male.
Right. You were, right?
Because a man is a man, bro, and you know that's not allowed in the, bro. That's what I'm saying, bro. You read the Bible, bro. Abraham. Let me Google this real quick, cause I want to make sure I'm stating it right. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to misguide anyone who watches this and come across this. Y'all remember the time in the Bible when Lot, hold up. When Lot daughters, they were in a cave. You know what I'm saying? When Lot daughters in Genesis chapter 19 chapter 30, Genesis chapter 19 verses 30 to 35, right? Y'all remember the time where Lot daughters got him drunk and they slept with him, right? Because they was in fear of, not letting the family tree, not having descendants, you know what I'm saying? Not having a family tree where they were worried about not having a generation come after them because they didn't have husbands, or whatever the case may be. That was, they was worrying about expanding, keeping a generation going. generational, growth. And, you know, it's like a genealogy type of priority. Where I'm getting at with this is that was incest, right? Now the thing is, back then, when God destroyed the Sodom, right? It was because there was a lot of wickedness going on. That was appropriate during that time where Lot stayed at. Remember, Lot and Abraham let Lot decide which side of the grass he wanted to go on of land. And then end up where Lot went when he saw that the grass was greener on that side, end up getting destroyed because of the wickedness. Now what I'm getting at is the daughters embraced that same culture where the wickedness of where their dad had resided at, thinking the grass was greener on the other side. Incest, men sleeping with other, all types of things, right? So why would God destroy that and think he will allow that now? Yes, God has promised that he won't destroy the world anymore. That goes back to Noah and the sign of the rainbow as confirmation. But doesn't mean that your relationship with him won't be destroyed. He just gave us free will. You got to think about it. That shows that man is meant to be man is meant to be what a man is. Within a man, that's where I meant to go with it. Man is meant to be within a man as in a natural state. So man is supposed to be a man, and man is supposed to be with man in that category of being a man natural, in the sense of being a provider, a lover, and comes behind a great man is a great woman. So men is supposed to be within men as in a natural category of being a man in that state, loving a woman, not man being within the unnatural state with man in that category, being with a man. That's not acceptable. It still falls into that category, resorting back to the time with Lot and his daughters and Sodom and all that, in regards of the incest and the wickedness. It's just what it is. Now, it's curious, and I love how Jesse is curious, because I'm curious, because now you have to be aware of these things throughout the world. You know what I'm saying? And it comes in all shapes, sizes, and form. This wickedness or this injustice. Now, I'm not judging him, but I'm just saying that how can I put this? The lack of knowledge can be easily twisted. The knowledge that's given can be twisted easily in regards of being ignorant, having lack of knowledge to which is really the truth. So you have to be curious in the sense of being aware of these things, to not embrace these things, but to refrain from these things, right? So how did this man end up being in the unnatural man state category? Let's see. Because it boggles my mind every single time. But I'm not judging. I'm just like Jesse's he's about to answer. How? You know what I'm saying?
I am a male currently sitting here in front of you.
But how did you go from being
He's a male currently.
a natural male to an unnatural woman?
Who's an unnatural woman?
But isn't homosexuality is like being a female feelings?
No.
What is it?
No.
What is it?
Somebody got to play the woman role, unfortunately. Because, bro, you're not dating a woman like you're supposed. All right, let me just. Let's get it.
Being gay is, or being gay, being a homosexual, whatever term like that a person wants to
Right.
use to identify themselves. It's an innate state of being. It means that this is who that person is. If I'm not a woman, I'm a man sitting.
So this what falls into the you see how he said God is interchangeable, and he's basically saying that people could be interchangeable. His belief is aligning up with the same way people can be interchangeable with their desires. See, this where this where your mind start tricking your heart and following the will of God. Because if you follow God, he will purify your heart. And which is what's righteous and just. My man is basically, you can get tricked into believing that it's okay in the desires of yours and start creating God to what you want him to be in your reality, and making it interchangeable to the sense of how you want to view it. And that's not okay. That's not good.
Sitting here in front of you having a conversation. I have a penis, just like you have
Well,
a
you
penis.
do have the male parts, but now they're cutting that off too. Did you hear about that? We'll get to that. But do you feel inwardly? Do you feel like a male or you feel like a female?
I am a male sitting here in front of you.
No, but what do you feel
I
like?
feel
on the
like
inside?
a male. And
Inside?
That she should have said, what do you feel like when you're not sitting in front of me?
I am a male.
I would
sitting here in
ask
front
that.
I
of you.
realize that, but inside, do you feel like a man or you feel like a woman?
I am a male sitting here in front of you. So that answers your question, right?
I know.
I don't feel like anything because I am a male.
You don't feel like neither male nor woman.
I would have just said, what do you feel like when you're with, like, what do you feel like then if you, when you, in that, so somebody got to wear the pants, unfortunately, and act the role to, because, bro, I get what Jesse trying to say, but I would have just said, bro, in that relationship, who wear the woman pants? Because unfortunately, somebody has to be the role of something that it should be. I would just ask that, bro.
I am a male sitting here in front of you.
I realize that, but what made you think you're a homosexual then?
Because it should be a man and a woman. So somebody, bro.
If there's not a
What makes
feeling on
me-
the inside, why do you think you're
Homosexuality is not a feeling; it's a state of being. It's who the person innately is. It has nothing to do with. It has nothing to do with creating a feeling that you're talking about. It's an innate. It's
is
an
a
innate
feeling, bro.
nature of who that person is. I innately am who I am. Me being gay or homosexual has nothing to do for me with being a man. It has everything to
Bro, if you was supposed to be, bro, we gonna keep it simple like this. You were created to be a man, right? So, following God, you are a man for a reason. You have a purpose. But you still be a man, becoming the man that God wants you to be. A man is a man. If you were supposed to be on the other side, then you would have been a female. It's just that simple.
do with my
simple.
preference and who I choose to sleep with.
What does the word innately mean? What does that mean? I'm black and slow. I don't know what that means.
The word innate means that it is that I'm not changing or I'm not becoming something else. I am who I am.
Just before we started the show, you said that you introduced your, is he your husband or your wife? Is that your husband? He gonna be your husband or your wife?
I'm gonna end this interview.
Why, bro? Answer the question, bro. But my man just said he innately. How would you know who you are innately if God is directing you and showing you who you are? I mean, don't get me wrong, you a man. So if you a man, then God gave you a way to lead as being a man. According to following God and his commandments and abiding by his commandments, who God is directing you and calling you and showing you who you are to be. But as a man, you get what I'm saying? So how can you be innately something that you don't even know who you are? Because you're here, You've been put here by the grace of God. You've been blessed to be called to life. But you don't know who you are because that's a lifestyle. That's a long lifestyle. That's a long lifestyle, lifelong thing. Discovering who you are. Loving a stranger who was once yourself. Every single day. There's always something new to learn about yourself every single day. So it's like you're always going to be discovering yourself. So you're not going to, I would say like you might have principles and morals and what you stand for, but you're not going to never know yourself fully, I feel like. Because it's a long lasting lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. It's a life ever. It's a dang, man, what I'm trying to say. It's a never ending thing until you return to dust.
Why? Because
sorry, family,
we're ending this right now.
Why you want to end?
We're ending it.
Well,
Take
wait,
this
come
off.
back.
Take this off. When you want to have a real conversation,
I'm
call
having-
me.
I'm-
No, you're bullshitting me,
Come
and
back.
I'm not gonna be a part of that. Come take this off of me, or I'm gonna take it with me.
But why are you running?
Come take this off of me, or I'm gonna take it with me. Please take it off of me.
Really,
Because
come take it
you're
off.
disrespecting me.
But no, I'm
So-
asking you really.
Please take it off.
Am
or
I
I'm gonna
asking
take
him
it
a real
with
serious
me.
question?
No, I'm saying, just let them take their recording. They're trying to get a reaction. What's that?
It's okay.
No, that's not what
Okay,
we're doing.
so
Just take it off.
yeah.
But
Is
tell me
it-
why
is
you're
it
running.
down?
I'm not running, sir, but when you want to have a real conversation, you have my information. You can
But you
call
said
me.
that you were gonna.
When you want to have a real conversation,
You said
When
that
you
gonna
wanna have
marry
a real
this-
conversation,
You said you
you
gonna
can
marry
call me.
this guy.
when you want to have, he's a guy. You're calling him a female. You're being disrespectful.
I asked if you gonna call him husband or wife. Come back. Do you want to be interviewed? No. Amazing. Well, they gone.
He said, well, he gone.
That's amazing. They gone. They walked away.
Oh, man. If you're not walking in the spirit of truth and you can't answer the question full confidence and stand on what you stand for, then obviously it's a problem, you know?
So the deal is that was Pastor Kurt D. Thomas. And Kurt D. Thomas is a senior pastor of the Renewed Church of Los Angeles. And he is a admitted homosexual pastor. And what he does is he works with men. They host a monthly men's group, they say. So I wanted to know about all that. But just before we started the show, he introduced this other male, a black male, that he said that they're going to get married soon. And I know that these people are doing that and they call it a marriage. So I want to just kind of lay out that first. I had no idea that he was going to run because if they are proud of being what they are and they say that it's normal, you would think that they would want to talk about it. But apparently not. And so I don't know what's going to happen, but he's gone. There's no use in praying for him anymore. He's gone. I wanted to ask him about the Great White Hope, Donald Trump. I wanted to ask, how does this work? If we are in a fallen state, we should overcome. I had a lot of questions. But anyway, thank you for tuning in. That was a short one. Help us fight censorship by hitting the thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell. And ring the bell. And don't forget to buy the merch. Everything we get, donate and all that, it goes back to make all this happen. We try to wake up the world, come out of that fallen state. Thank you so much.
He said he gone. Well, he gone. He skedaddled. But anyway, family, if you're new to the channel, come join the family. Hit that subscribe button. Turn your post notifications on. Comment down below any legendary top of the movie reaction videos. And let the love supersede the hate, family. Peace.